Now, residents of Old Fadama have amassed in front of the State House to protest the ongoing demolition exercise there. The exercise, which was started yesterday by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, has seen many left homeless, with hundreds traveling back to the north for shelter. Well, now let's get the very latest from the ground now. My colleague Latif Idris is there and he's joined me over the telephone. Hello, Latif.
Hello, Kameni.
What is going on now?
Yeah, Kameni, you know, the AMA started the demolition exercise at Sodom and Gomorrah over the weekend. Now, residents of this community are clearly unhappy about the demolition exercise, and so they have taken on the streets to demonstrate against what they call illegal demolition exercise. Now, they started it from the National Theatre and now have moved to the State House in their numbers. We can almost 1,000 of them gathered here, having various placards reading 2016, no Akufo-Addo, no vote, who knows what happens tomorrow. You know, all kinds of things written on the placards that they have here. Their main concern is that they are not happy with the demolition exercise that took place, and they want government and President Mahama specifically, they want to meet President Mahama for them to submit to him their displeasure.
Well, Latif, I'm going to have you hold the line briefly. Gladys is here with me in the studio. She was there at the beginning of the demonstration today somewhere in Agbogbloshi. Thank you very much, Gladys, for your time. But
thanks, Kamini.
When you went there, what was it like?
All right, so it's just a normal morning. We do our roving, and we practically drove into them. So curiosity, I tried to find out what's happening, and they say they are demolishing where we sleep. They won't give us peace. So I said, okay, so let me talk to you. And they're like, no media person had been there, and so it meant that Okot van der Poy was doing it underground. He didn't want anybody to know about. Like, okay, we are here, so talk to us. What exactly is your problem? And they say that they are being denied shelter, though they were informed about this whole exercise. They feel that 100 meters from the Odaw River. But what has actually taken place is it goes beyond 100 meters as pre-discussed, and so they feel they've been deceived. And if somebody is out there to make sure they don't enjoy peace, then they are also going to make sure that that person does not enjoy peace. And for them, it is Okot van der Poy and Mahama. And so they've just been going up and down the whole area. They blocked the streets. They started burning tires in the middle of the road.
There were reports of chaos.
Sure. I was there when the chaos started.
What was it like?
Out of so much agitation, it was more like they need the attention. So when they were just parading the streets up and down, and then they split into two, some decided to head towards State House. They say, we need to talk to Mahama ourselves, so we are going to find him. And so that's the group that has gone and Latif is with now. But the group that stayed behind wanted to also make sure that they made life unbearable for anybody in that environment. So they started pushing things into the middle of the road. And at that time, we were so fortunate, just when we got there, they had started pushing the things there. I'm talking about just when we got to that point, we had been there also going up and down with them. So they started pushing things into the middle of the road. And we were fortunate.
In attempts to block the road.
To block the road. Then just a few meters away, I hey, so much noise. So I go back, curiosity, and then they were putting fire into the tire they had pushed in the middle of the road, a big tire, and the police were just about 500 meters away from that point, and they just lit the tire, and it started. So right away, then I told my team that we've got to move away from the scene because it could be serious. When the police strike, we are in the middle of the.
Do you think the police was a bit overwhelmed by the numbers and the chaos?
What I saw, I don't think they were overwhelmed. What I read that they were calm and they are there to ensure calm. the people are going up and down. Nobody is misbehaving yet. So they were just watching them, allowing them to go on. They didn't stop them. And the team, the residents at that point were not really misbehaving. They were making chanting, holding their placards and going up and down, singing war songs and all of that. But when the burning of the towers started, then the police quietly moved towards where the incident was happening.
Let's get the latest as far as security is concerned from the State House where Latif is stationed right now. Hello, Latif. Give us a clear picture of what it is like with the police around and all that. What is the state of security there?
Yeah, the police are here in their numbers, Kabeni. We can count as many as 100 police officers right here at the State House trying to protect the property here, because the youth here, they are very angry and they can just do anything, and so the police are here in their numbers. But as I speak with you now, Kabeni, they are leaving the State House. Now, the leadership of this youth were in a meeting with the police officers here. We do not know exactly what the consensus was, but then as I speak to you now, Kabeni, they are leaving the State House.
Do we know where they are headed?
They are not moving back onto the street. We don't know their next point of call. But for now, they are leaving the State House.
This must have caused heavy traffic in that area. What can you report?
Come again?
I'm saying, what's the traffic situation around the State House?
Okay, I can tell you that the demonstration hasn't affected the traffic situation badly. Traffic is moving slowly here, but then you cannot say that the demonstration has affected the traffic situation. Maybe if they move up back onto the street, then it will alter the traffic situation. But as of now, it is free flow of traffic right here.
Very well, thank you very much, Latif, for the report. We'll get back to you as and when new details emerge. But Gladys Osei is still here with me in the studio. Now, these people were given notice they were going to move away.
Sure, that's what they told me.
Then they didn't give a sense of we are unhappy about the demolition over the weekend.
According to them, they were told that was going to happen, but it was going to happen within 100 meters from the storm drain, the Odaw drain. But what has actually happened on the ground goes beyond that 100 meters, according to them.
I want you to describe this area and the extent of demolition in a bit, but let's listen to some of those residents you spoke with.
Sodom and Gomorrah and the Irish youth, they are very angry. They are not happy what's happening here. So let's get talking to them. Yes. Why are you so angry?
We are angry because of the disturbing it takes to us. We don't get peace here again. And we are hustling for here. If we don't get hustling for here, but we go still now. So we want peace for here. If not that, we don't go vote NDC. If NDC, we don't want it again. We go kill somebody for here.
Okay, so I see. Right, so we'll be going along with them. We'll find out what exactly is causing this whole demonstration here.
We don't understand, because Odaw said it was because of the flood. They are coming to spoil here. But now, our question is, are we not human beings? Are we not Ghanaians? If Odaw will come to destroy here for other people, when the flood happened, what happened here? No one died here. If here is the main cause of the flood, how come nobody died here? At least what we want our president to know is that Odaw is his best enemy. Because if Odaw knows very well that human beings are living here and he could come and do this kind of thing, that means John Mahama is an enemy to Odaw. That's what we want the media to do. Thirdly, how come since this thing started, no media has here, no media came here to record what our concern? How come? And what they are not doing is more than the 100 meters. They shouldn't think that we, those who are living here, some of us have been to school. Yes. Just that we don't have people to second us, so that we can also be people or human beings. So from that place to here, to where they are demolishing, is more than 100 meters.
We have the information. They come to tell us that those people who are under the gutter site, they should come out their rooms and they come and demolish it. Yes, we've agreed, we've accepted. And when they come, it is not people who are only under the gutter. They've started demolition everywhere. They said they need 200 meters. And even what the demolition is more than 200 meters. And when they come, they didn't tell us they need 200 meters so that we should come out our room. rooms. They said they should leave the gutter so that they can promote the boiler inside. Yes, we've accepted it, we've agreed with you. Then now when you come, you didn't indicate even any red number under the yours. Like we are not animals. When you come to demolish, we are in Accra everywhere. When they come to demolish everything, when Emma go to any place to demolish, he will go and read and put the red numbers there for people to know that yes, we are not allowed to be here again. That has never happened. It has never happened. There is no any indication, no any red numbers writing anywhere. They just come to start demolition everywhere.
And now Gladys is still here with us. This seems to me like a whole community that has been ejected from their home. What did they tell you about where they're going to be spending the night going forward?
When I asked, okay, so what next? What the gentleman said was, we have nowhere to sleep. Those who can afford to go back have packed, some of them have gone, but we have children, we have wives, and Saturday when it happened, it even rained. Some of them slept in the rain because there is nowhere to go to. But now their main concern, when I asked them, what will you do? Their response that comes is, we are not voting for Mahama. And you could tell that from the placards and all. And I mean, that's all they are saying, that if Mahama won't do anything about their plight, they feel he's aware, he's endorsing the inconvenience being caused them.
The vote is always the bait. Thank you very much, Gladys. Now, meanwhile, hundreds of residents of Old Fadama are stranded at various bus terminals in Accra. Redwan Karim Dini Osman reports the slum dwellers have pitched camp mostly at the Accra Tamale station, hoping to catch a ride home, as the EMA shows no signs of halting the demolition exercise.
Well, we understand this is a very unusual site here at the Accra Tamale Agbogboloshi Lorry Park. You can see scores of people gathered here, and they all have one mission. They are going to their hometown as a result of the demolition exercise by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly that started yesterday. Indeed, a number of them, I'm told, they are numbering over 500. So I'm here to talk to one of the big men actually at the station to find out from him how he's going to deal with the numbers. How do you intend to deal with the numbers?
We have to get a patient for them, finding the car for them, everybody to go in place peaceful.
But how many buses are available?
Just only 10 buses we are arranging to come. But as of now, 4 buses are around. But we are still needing more buses to. In my suggestion, we are sitting, but this one there, always Vanderpool was saying to come and demolishing the team, no, almost 6 months now. But we are just sitting. Yesterday we are just sitting, seeing people who are coming. We are not aware about anything. So because for that, yesterday we are starting loading passengers to be going to our hometown. Okay. That's Tamale.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you started sending people from yesterday.
Yeah.
How many people have you sent so far?
Uncountable. We can't count them because we are not counting them. But the buses was taking 60 passengers, sometimes 45, 50. So yesterday, like 10 buses to go.
Now, most of the people who are leaving claim they have nowhere to go, and so they are going back to their hometown. From the look of things, are they likely to stay there or they would come back?
When they came, they won't get a place to stay. And they are not intentional to be going, but the place they have been staying, they are just demolishing, so there's no place to stay. You go for that, they are going. But like if the house is good, nobody will come to Accra. Here is the business center, and everybody was staying there. But now everybody will pack to the hometown to be sitting.
Thank you very much, Mohammed. And so, yes, you heard from the first trustee. He tells us that they look forward to getting about 10 buses by the close of today to clear all the people here. They have over 500 people stranded here at the Accra Tamale station at Agbogboloshi. And so, yeah, that is how chaotic the situation is. You can see the weather is already sunny and the people are seated here hoping that the buses will come and send them to their various destinations.
So we'll continue the conversation around the demolition exercise and its effects after the weekend. We'll continue the conversation with one of the union leaders for Slum Dwellers Association, Abdullah Al-Hassan. He's here with me in the studio. Abdullah, I could tell from your reaction when you watched the video that just went by, you are absolutely unhappy about it. You're not excited about it at all. Tell us really, let's start from the beginning. How did it all start?
So it all started, I think it would be good to go back from like 2009. Mm-hmm. The state came up and asked us to move out of the area. And so we agreed that the place is not ours. We just happen to be in Accra to also work and live in. That's why we live there. So we would like to move, but then we should be able to find other alternative living. So it was not working, and then we took it to court. And in the court, the court agreed with the state that they need to.
Why did the matter end in court? You were asking the state to provide...
We are asking the state to help us find alternative settlements. Because in the first place, the group of people who came there were settled there by the state. We did not just walk in there, we were settled there by the state. So we're actually looking for alternative settlements or asking for more time so that we can find our own settlements. But they wouldn't listen.
And so it ended up in court?
Mm-hmm. And then the court agreed that, yes, we need to go. But then the court said we need to go in a humane manner. And by that, it means that we should find alternative accommodation.
On your own?
No. The state should help find alternative accommodation.
That is what the court ordered?
Yes. So because of that, the demolition was halted in 2009. We heard that there was arrangement to take us to Ajem Kotoku, which we were very happy of. We were always contacting the state to make sure that we are moved there. But it also failed. According to some state officials, the chiefs in Accra have refused that. So because of that, that one also failed. So we're still living there. And we've been living there ever since, as you know. And since we lived there, the government, upon government came, we help them sometimes to desilt the lagoon. Sometimes they employ some of us to desilt the lagoon. I remember very well in 2007, I was employed to be part of
by the AMA.
By the AMA, to be part of those desilting the lagoon. No structure was demolished. In fact, some kiosks were moved. And after the demolition, the AMA helped us brought it back. That was in 2007. And as I'm telling you, since that last desilting, there has never been any other attempt to desilt the lagoon again. And this time around, they are blaming us for not desilting the lagoon. Fine, we agreed. We said, okay, it's good for you to desilt the lagoon. They said they needed us to clear all structures along the lagoon so they can desilt. We came out ourselves. And then we talked to our brothers who are staying closer to the lagoon. And we cleared it. That was in 2012. In 2012. We cleared the place. We rendered about 8,000 people homeless. We tried to find them alternative accommodation within our own settlement. I housed 3 people for 3 weeks in my room before we were able to find them alternative accommodation. And since 2012, after we demolished our own people's structures and then provided them with alternative solution, the AMA never showed up to do any desilting of the lagoon. Just last 2 weeks after the devastating flood that claimed many lives in Accra, they called us and said it was time for them to desilt the lagoon. So we said that was fine. After all, we had created space for you to do it long ago, and you have not come. So it's good. It's just a few people have encroached on the spaces that we created.
Again.
And so we will be able to help you clear them. And they said, that's fine. They went to a meeting with some of our leaders who agreed that they will come and help them clear those who have encroached the space we created in 2012. And that was what we know. So they came and made an announcement that if you know you encroach on the space that was created in 2012, your structure will be demolished. So take it away. People packed their things from that space because they didn't want their structures to be demolished. Just to show up on Saturday at 4:30 a.m. and started crashing down people's homes.
So help us understand. Which areas have gone down right now?
Right now, a lot of areas, but they started from 2 different directions. The direction from the Makwala market and the other side from the Onion market. So they just picked I don't know how to describe that. They just start demolishing people's houses, beating people, throwing tear gas, and it was raining as well. And people were moved out into the rain and they were destroying their homes.
Do you see any sense in why the AMA would want to eject you from that land?
For me, I don't understand, because all this while we've been in constant touch with them, because we agree with them that there is a need for Accra to be developed. We agree with them that there is a need for the lagoon to be desilted. That's why we came out and evicted our own people so that there will be space. Even though it has been desilted before without evicting anybody, but just because we wanted to cooperate with them, we followed those rules.
Let's talk about alternate accommodation. You knew that the AMA wanted to eject you. So from 2009 till 2015, you're talking about 6 years down the line.
Yeah.
Why didn't you find alternate accommodation?
We cannot afford. You know how much houses cost in Ghana. The prices are quoted in dollars. I have made several attempts to form housing corporations, but we are not able to afford any of these dollars that people quote for housing. And when it comes to rent, that is even more annoying. You go to rent somebody's single room and the person tells you it's 60 cedis a month, which you'll be happy to pay, but the person will demand that you pay 2 years in advance. If I have that much money, I wouldn't live in Old Fadama. I wouldn't live in Old Fadama. But the point is, we don't have that much money. And it's not our fault, because we are working hard on a daily basis, and we have to work hard, take care of ourselves in that difficult situation, take care of our family members who don't have jobs in the northern region, because there are no jobs there.
So are you going to go back to the north?
I cannot go back. So many people's lives depend on me in the northern region. If I go back, we are all going to go hungry and we may die in hunger. I'm going to continue to stay in that land. I will stay there until I can afford alternative accommodation. I will stay in the open. The rains has been beating us since Saturday, and we will still stay there.
Abdullah, there's a lot more to talk about, but so this is all time will allow. Thank you very much for coming.
You're
Abdullah
welcome.
Al-Hassan is Union Secretary for the Slum Dwellers Association. You're watching Joy News there. There's a lot more on this, because they organized a news conference earlier today, and we'll bring you the very latest from there. Don't go away. You're watching Joy News Desk. Now, residents of Mensa Guinea, Islam community behind the Arts Center, live in fear of being washed away by flood waters. The community was demolished by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly last year at the height of a cholera outbreak. But some of the squatters continue to live along the beach. Joy News' Derek Akwasam, who visited Mensa Guinea earlier today, reports the area is filled with debris from the recent flood. Now, I'll show you that in a bit, but we can also get the very latest from the issue with the residents of Old Fadama. There was a news conference earlier today. Michaela Anderson was there. She's here with me in the studio with the very latest. What have they been saying at this news conference?
Before I go into that, Kemini, let me say that right now, as we speak, Old Fadama is very chaotic as I speak to you. It's very, very chaotic. There's pandemonium there. People are, the squatters, the residents there are burning ties in the middle of streets. And right now, they are not allowing vehicles to ply that particular road. So that is the state we are in now. And most of them, those who embarked on a demonstration this morning, most of them are holding placards with inscriptions such as, "Is it better Ghana? No vote for Mahama 2016. No campaign for John Mahama in 2016. And they are saying a whole lot of stuff. But let me take you to what they said at the press conference. It was addressed by two people. The gentleman who just walked out from this place, his name is Abdullah Al-Hassan. And then another man called Musa Ziyad. And they call themselves the concerned residents of the evicted Old Fadama.
That must be new.
Yes, yes. So what they are saying is that they are calling the demolition by the AMA and the government as illegal. They are saying it is inhumane, and they are saying the AMA boss, that's Alfred Okuvandapoy, lacks leadership skills. They are saying that government is being wicked because they don't understand why a demolition should take place at this particular time where the condition is very harsh. So they don't understand why such a thing should happen. And they are also saying that they are afraid most of the BEC candidates in their area are going to fail because they've not been able to study, they are traumatized, they are not psyched up for any exams as we speak, and they want government to do something urgently about it. And they are quoting the UN Convention, Article 49, saying that no demolition should take place under harsh conditions. And they've therefore made demands. One, they are saying that government must immediately halt the demolition. Secondly, they have to provide temporal structures for them to house the displaced people. And then third, government must compensate the displaced people.
How many people are we looking at here?
Well, they've been mentioning a lot of numbers. I've been hearing a lot of numbers, but they're saying it's 10,000 people. And as we speak, over 1,000 structures have been demolished.
Very well. Thank you very much, Michaela. Michaela Anderson was at a news conference organized by the concerned residents of the evicted old fadama. Is that it? Concerned residents of the evicted old fadama. And, well, she brought us details from that particular news conference. But Mayor of Accra, Alfred Vanderpoel, has also been speaking to the issue. She can listen.
Moments like these, residents would want to invoke the rights they have in the Constitution. Many have raised the concerns that they were not given prior notice. Others also said that indeed they haven't been provided with temporary structures where they could put up and perhaps go and find permanent place of abode later. How do you react to these concerns?
As Chief Executive of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, I have an equal responsibility to all the people of Accra. Last 2 weeks, we lost 159 souls. They had rights. You understand? The people who are living on this, what we call it in the middle, they have rights. They have rights. The right that I have towards them is public safety. January, I came here and I spent over 4 million Ghana cedis to clean the edges of the Kole. That time I gave them warning. A year ago, when they set the whole place here on fire, I came here with my works director and I gave them warning that they should stop and shouldn't build it. They built. You understand? So this is the moment. I've been in office for 7 years. Of those 7 years, every day I've given them a warning.
It's time for some business stories. Don't go away.
Was it?